Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NetSuite presentation, how NetSuite works for IT and technology companies. My name is Chris. I'm a NetSuite consultant in Nolan, and I have a pleasure today to chair this presentation. What we'll be talking about today? First, I will run quickly through NetSuite corporate overview. So what is the system? What are its key differentiators on the market? Then we'll jump into the system demonstration, and I will show you how NetSuite architecture and customer 360-degree supports IT and technology companies. Then I will also talk about how this vertical is supported by the NetSuite order-to-cash process, in particular about the order management, billing, revenue recognition and reporting. And then we will talk about the importance of the real-time and accurate reporting. So I will present you real-time consolidation, exchange rate updates, and setup of your general ledger, which is support to provide IT and technology companies the real-time information about its business and performance. First we will start with who are NetSuite. And they are world #1 cloud ERP vendor. They employ over 5,000 people, and year after year they are growing with their market presence and revenues. On the right-hand side, you have some customers of NetSuite. This data here is above to show you that NetSuite is growing significantly in the last years. And this is because the system has many unique features which are very appealing to its customers. Those features which I will run now quickly with you are accessibility, rich ERP and CRM features, and flexibility. Third, about the accessibility of the system, it's quite important, I think, for IT and technology companies because you can access the system anywhere over your phone, tablet, or computer. The only requirement here, you need to have internet access, and then you can perform all your day-to-day duties from any place in the world. The system, you can also have one system for the entire business. So you have one central database which can be used by all your employees from different business areas. This is pretty important, and I will reference to this a lot during the next stages of the presentation. Then the system has very rich features, which some of them, especially in the order management area, we will be discussing. They are supporting basically all roles mentioned previously, and they're enabling then, as the company, you can pay only for one solution and use this one solution for your whole business. Flexibility of the system, what I mean here basically, you can adapt the system very easily to your business needs. You do not need to be a programmer in order to customize the forms you're using for entering some, for example, orders or building some business processes using workflows, which we'll be discussing a little bit later during the presentation as well. Of course, for developers, there are also some solutions which you may go even farther and automate your processes end-to-end. I think now it's a good moment we can jump to the system, and I will show you what is there. So what you see on the screen, basically, it's NetSuite. You see it looks pretty modern. You have some colors, etc. But the more important part here is the technology and the features of the system. I'm using here, I opened the system here using the Chrome browser, but you can use any other browser for this purpose. I'm using the fictionally employee and name Alex Wolf, and I have access to many roles, which some of them I will present a little bit later during the presentation. About the main system features and navigation, here you have the center, so the main menu in the system. As we will be using different roles later, you will see that those links will adapt to the role, and they will display only the significant information required for a particular here. And the recent records, as in the browser, you have access to the recent records you opened during the system. So if you close it, you can open it very easily again. Favorites are the most used parts of the system have access to. What I like about the system a lot is the search, global search here, which allows you to search through the whole database for any keyword I would like to use. So for example, if I will put the Smith word here, the system will look not only for the ERP, so through some invoices, payments, but will also look for all the CRM, so customer contacts, leads, as well as the e-commerce that I have here, data. So as I mentioned previously during the presentation, it's one database for the whole system. So that's why it's very easily, when I will be showing you later the customer 360 record, it's very easy to link some information and to provide more comprehensive reporting here. If, for example, I would like to concentrate my search only for the customers with the keywords Smith, I can put the customer abbreviation in front, and then the system will look for it as well. Okay. The second thing I think I like a lot in the system is the help here. In NetSuite, you have quite comprehensive help together with many training videos you can open if you have any problems. Of course, you can contact NetSuite or support, but as well you can go to the help basically and look for the appropriate videos or training materials and solve the problem on your side. All right. First, the main area here you see on the screen is the dashboard. So it's the main work surface in NetSuite. First thing about it, it's quite easily adaptable, very flexible. So if I will click personalize here, it's very easy to add an element to your dashboard. For now, this will be a calendar with today's events here. If I don't want to display it, I can minimize it or remove it very easily. I can also move the elements through the dashboard without any problems here. So it's now I would like maybe to show you how you can use your dashboard and the system for different roles within your company. First, maybe I will show you the CEO role. We will see how the layout, what you see here, will change if I now will change the role. So if I open right now, here see I have access to many different roles within the system. You can create as many roles really and dashboards as you want. What we will be now opening will be ProTech EMEA, it's ProTech Group CEO role, this one here. And now we see that everything basically changed. Not only the color, but we see also the center bar here is displaying different links. They're more important for the CEO role, not administrator. So you have some business areas here from the sales, expenses, HR, financial. Also, we have a lot of summary information which should help the role basically to get grip of the business. Let's concentrate maybe first of the CEO financials here. What we see basically, here we see last month data, so various aggregation of the sales, of the gross profit, and other information which you would like to see on the screen. What's good about the system, this is the real-time aggregation. So it means in every moment in time, I can drill into the underlying details here. And the system will display how this data is built up, this 579,000 here. If I would like, for example, I can even drill it even further, the level of the individual transaction. And if this transaction requires any correction, I can do it straight away, and the results will be displaying on the dashboards and all other reports here. So this is very good about the system. that you don't see only the aggregation which somebody is sending you over the email or in Excel, but you see the real data here which you have impact on, and you can correct if necessary. What else? If you are a CEO of the global business and the business, your technology and IT business is running through different regions on subsidiaries, you would like to have control over those subsidiaries. So here on your screen, basically, you have the subsidiary navigator here, which first helps you to show how your subsidiaries are created within the system. Then you can use the same information here to filter by only part of the system. And then all the data on the screen will be filtered for this particular EMEA region, not for the whole consolidation you had previously. So you see the information will be changing regarding what kind of information you would like to select here. It's very good for big businesses and for having the overview of over the financials. You don't need to have a separate system for it, but you can use this function. Now I will show you how all of this will change if we move to other role for marketing and sales director. Now look at the center here, which will change as well. Now we have leads, campaigns, all the necessary information for this role. What I would like to show you maybe now a little bit about the reports, for example, about some graphs, maybe how easily you can adapt and change the graphs here. For example, here you have comparative sales this year versus last year. If you would like to change it, for example, this quarter versus last quarter, or anything else here, you can do it straight away, and the system will display the valid information. If you would like to change the layout of the graph, also no problem here. For IT and technology companies, very often it's quite important to collect the information about the customers and about the e-commerce. NetSuite offers also its own e-commerce solution here. If you have this integrated within the system, even if you are using even third-party solution, you can have a nice overview of a dashboard. For example, about the website hits here. You can go to the system and see in what parts of the system, in what parts of the website, which customers have been interested and how many times they hit your website. The dashboard is not only to review the information which already happened, but also may help you to organize your day-to-work activities. For example, you can schedule some activities straight away from the dashboard. So after clicking the schedule button here, you can add people for the event. You will see their availability for this particular times, and you can create new events for them and for yourself as well. Let's maybe move to the next role, and I would like to show you how it looks from the finance perspective. So we will move to the Project EMEA CFO role now. Now you see you have some financials with comparison, with some ratios, with some arrows. So quite important for the finance people here. But I would like to really concentrate on a little bit on the reminders, because what they help you, especially in current technology, you do not need to receive emails, make some notes, but the system will by itself tell you what is outstanding. For example, we see some invoices are overdue. As the cash is the king in finance, we can have a look here. Which customer has overdue invoices, we can schedule some actions. Later during this presentation, I will also show you how you can ask the system to automate scheduling the collection process for the customers with overdue invoices. So you don't need to remember checking this every day, sending these emails, or making some call arrangements. The system can do it for you as well. Now I would like to go for the rest of the presentation to the administrator role, because the roles we discussed previously do not give you only different layout links here, but also restricting your access to the different system parts. So using the roles, basically, you can create permissions for finance people to see all the financial information, but for example, maybe you don't want them to see some HR data, etc., etc. So the system allows you basically to create the roles with proper levels of permissions and restrictions. Now I'll move back, as I said, to the administrator to have access to the whole system. And what I would like you to show you, because many of our customers from the technology companies are telling they would like to have the full visibility over the customers, how to collect the information, how to view them, how to interlink various parts. So I would like to show you the customer 360 view within NetSuite. For doing this, I will open one of the customer record, natural history here. And using this record, I would like to show you a big benefit of having one database for all the system features, for all your company activities, as well as linking all of the information in one single place, as we have here. So apart from the basic information for the customer, which you see already on the screen, you see that you can set up different contacts. You can even set up different sub-customers if you are working with the customer structure here. But one of the big benefits here is the communication. So the system may collect all of your mails. Even you can create them, mail to your customer straight away from the system. So if the person who is dealing with the customer is going on holidays or leaving the companies, all the information about the customer and the relationship is already here. So you don't need to worry about it. Also, all of the activities, some phones with the customers, results of the phone, some contracts as well with the customers or notes, maybe also recorded with the system. So all the CRM information, all your relationship with the customers are stored here and can be easily accessed and reviewed. In addition, what I told you previously, because a lot of emails with your customers from legal or practical perspective may be regarding the collection process. So apart from reviewing regular information, when the email should be sent, what it should be formatted, etc., you can ask the system to record it for you. I used it before, but it's also, I think, worth mentioning here. You see, you can very easily duplicate the tabs in the system and work on different parts of the system simultaneously. You are not restricted to one part of the system, as I did right now. So for now, for example, I would like to show you the workflow. So there are blocks and arrows interface, and without programming here, you can create some business process. As you see here, for example, the invoice collection. So the alternative of it, I used to work in my previous company, is basically on the regular intervals. We reviewed the accounts receivable account, we reviewed the communication with the customer, we created some emails, then we collected all this information basically manually and on paper. What we're doing right now, we're asking the system if the invoice is 30 days overdue, whatever amount you prefer in your company, basically. We are building conditions, and based on these conditions, we are sending automatically the emails to the customer, asking for the money who owes us. Then, basically, without any answer, we can ask the system to put additional email here, or later create a phone call record with the customer. If we will not have enough response for the customer, we can very easily put our customer on hold. All of this automatically without the manual intervention. And this is one of the biggest benefits of the workflows in the system. You don't have to be a programmer. You do not need to write any single line of the code. But basically using the conditions, those blocks, states here, and the arrows, you can build up your business process, and the system will follow your business process according to your design here. Okay, I will close it for now. Moving back to the customer record here, the system also supports multiple addresses with the default and billing and default shipping. This will be pretty important if we'll go later through the drop shipment and just-in-time processes. So I will refer to this a little bit later. The system will have also all of the sales information here. on the transaction tab, as well as all the CRM data, some opportunities, some quotes. So all of this related to this customer, not only the static information, but as we discussed previously, the communication, as well as all the transactions, can be reviewed from one single report, one single record. Also, we can create some upsell opportunities for these customers, as many other things. From this one single place, we are reviewing the data. The marketing. Also, the marketing information here. So all the subscriptions the customer is taking part in, all the marketing campaigns towards this customer, everything is here. In the technology and IT companies, I think pretty important is also the support. Many of you offer the support options to your customer to raise some cases, review those cases, contact the support team. You can do it also straight away from NetSuite, and also all this information will be recorded on the customer here. You can then review it later. You can assign some priorities, statuses, basically. Also answer straight away these cases to customers. Later also I will show you how to empower your customer in order to review your answers and raise the cases by himself. So they don't need to call your support teams, but they can do it by themselves, which will also save you a lot of time. On the financial information here, we, for example, have a lot of nice things for the credit limit, which we can assign to a customer, which we'll use to hold transaction above this amount here, 25,000 in this respect. Some basic terms, as well as we can set up the currencies, because the system supports the multi-currencies, for which we'll be doing a little bit of reporting later, some credit cards assigned to customers, some specific pricing for the customers. Also, a lot of customers are asking us about how flexibility the system is with the pricing. It's very flexible. You can have a quantity discounts here. You can have the group pricing for the products. You can have the customer-specific pricing for items or for groups, etc., etc. So we have a lot of nice options to use here. Additionally, of course, the system can automatically send the email to customers for the transactions if we were required to do. System also records every changes to the records we have here, so we have nice audit trail of everything what is done here. Okay, what I wanted to show you here, maybe I will also go apart from this form layout we have here. We can also see the view dashboard for the customer. So in similar format, we saw the dashboard for the whole company before, for the role. You can see the same information, the customer, in the more graphical form, if we decide to do it. What I wanted to show you basically here, that this rich ERP and CRM features, which I mentioned before, together with the e-commerce, are very visible if, for example, you will see the customer 360 view, what we have here. If you will miss some of the parts, you will not be able to use one of the systems for so variety of activities, for the communication, for sales, for marketing, support, for all the financial aspects. As you have one single database for everything, then coming to the customer record, you can review all this information, but what is more importantly, you can perform all of those tasks in one system. What I also told I will show you, and I will do it right now, is how you can empower your customer in order to do some activities on your behalf. So for example, if we go to the access, we can log in as the customer to system. So we can assign a customer access to the part of our system in order to do certain things, which first will save you some time. Additional, it will give the customer more power and control what he is doing. Okay, so for example, the customer can do different tasks from the billing, orders, or support perspective. Maybe from the billing perspective, it can print a statement, because a lot of questions the financial department are coming about the outstanding amounts from what they are coming basically. So let's say he would like to see all the outstanding amount for a couple of years. So the system will automatically generate the statements for the customers, and then you can review the outstanding amount together with all the previous invoices and payments which have been used here. without the need to sending this over the email or calling it separately. Additionally, the customer can raise some new orders in the system, review existing orders, or from the support, review existing cases, the answers, or raise any new case, what I mentioned to you previously. Okay, so now maybe we will go back to our presentation. And I will emphasize a couple of benefits for high-tech companies by using NetSuite. First, I think the biggest benefit is specific functionality for this vertical, which NetSuite supports. So I will talk a lot about revenue recognition, about the subscription and contract management, as well as about billing. And we see a couple of examples based on the sales order, how the system supports those functions. Okay, let's move back to the system then. I will log back because I used the customer access previously. You see, to have access to the system, you only need to have a browser and internet connection. You don't need to have anything else. You don't need to have any on-premise devices, connections, etc., as virtual desktops. You only have as far as here. Okay, let's see. I will open quickly one of the sales order, and then using this, we will go through the system features here. Okay, you see a lot of information on the screen. I would like to concentrate on 5 things. But before we will go there, I would like maybe give you a little bit background. What is the sales order about? Basically, the sales order consists of 4 lines, as we see here. Those lines represent some basic IT key, physical device, as well as installation service, maintenance service, and 2 years warranty. Based on those items, I will present you various solutions for billing and revenue recognition you can use here. First, I would like to discuss maybe about the integration with the CRM and e-commerce system. As you see here on the lead source, this lead comes from the website. The system, NetSuite has its own native e-commerce and CRM solution, of course, but also enables integration with third-party providers. So here you have a nice also integration through the whole cycle of the sales order. Secondly, about the contract information here, you see in the center on the screen. The contract start date, contract terms of 12 months, and contract end date. NetSuite keep track of contract dates, values, uplifts, and everything what occurred during the contract period. This will allow to consolidate all of this at the end of the term and send automatically to your customers for renewal, which is pretty handy here. What I would like to mention previously, it's also because as a technology and IT companies, you don't want to hold unnecessary stock and pay for your storage. So NetSuite also enables here to use just-in-time and dropship processes, which create, for example, the sales order. The sales order will automatically create the purchase order in the background and will send to your vendor with the request to send directly to the shipping address to your customers, what we discussed previously, without going through your warehouse and storing facilities. Additionally, as you see those 4 items on the sales order, what can we do with them from the billing perspective? Of course, we can bill this sales order in total in one step, but in some business scenarios require more sophisticated billing options. They are based more often about the negotiation with the customer or business requirements. In NetSuite, you can bill all of those lines separately, and even assign a flexible conditions to this billing. As we see here, the billing schedule, I assign different billing schedule for each item on the sales order. So let's maybe review one of them to see what options do we have. Here I have the billing schedule, and you see basically you can define what initial amount will be billed for, what will be the recurrence frequency of this billing schedule. Here will be monthly. It will repeat every single month, and it will appear for 2 months in this area, whether this should be in arrears or in advance, and what will be the payment terms of the recurrence and of the initial amount here. So you see here we have a lot of flexibility how we would like to apply the billing for each element of this one here. We will not save it. We will go back to the sales order. And now we know that apart from the billing, a big headache for finance departments is also the revenue recognition, especially for IT and high technology products in your company. So we may concentrate a little bit on this aspect right now. So let's go back to the presentation. Advanced revenue management in NetSuite. Some of you may know that in 2014 there was a huge change to IFRSs regarding the revenue recognition. And those result in introducing the IFRS 15 or from US GAAP ASC 606. Those two basically describe how to recognize the revenue from the contract with the customers. As all of you have contract with the customers, and you know that recognizing the revenue right now, it's not that straightforward. If you are using, for example, the Excel schedules, which I will mention a little bit later, but can be pretty easy automated using this system solution here in NetSuite. Basically, the IFRS 15 recognize 5-step model for revenue recognition, which consists of identifying the contract with the customer, identifying the performance obligations, their transaction prices, as well as allocation of those transaction prices between the performance obligations. At the end, basically, it discusses how and when to recognize the revenue. I will go through all the steps during the system presentation, and I will show you how the system addressed this 5-step model here. By using this, I will go back to our sales order. And I would like to show you maybe one additional feature of the system here. Because we are using one database, everything is here, everything is very nicely linked. So for example, here we have a sales order with a customer, and based on the sales order and the related transactions, we will see the revenue arrangement. The revenue arrangement is basically the revenue contract with our customers. So the first steps we discussed previously. We can very easily open this revenue arrangement from the screen. And we see that here it consists also of 4 lines. Those 4 lines are revenue obligation. So what we discuss with the customers, what we meet. So to provide, for example, this IT piece, to provide this installation, maintenance, and warranty here. As well as each of this obligation has a transaction price. It can be either the sales amount, or it can be some fair value or fair value calculation. Fair value details here we have in this example. And we see basically, for example, this 2-year warranty is based on the fair value formula here. Also, the last step basically of assigning the transaction price obligation is also the reallocation, because in some specific scenarios, some fair values of one obligation may be reallocated to a different obligation, which will increase the price. As we, in this example, have the case with the lines 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 2, 4. Okay. Coming back to our revenue elements here, so revenue obligations. When the revenue should be recognized for those, so when they will meet the criteria of revenue recognition. For example, the IT piece of equipment should be recognized with this under the fulfillment, which is a very common approach here. as well as the service and warranty on the after the billing. So if we will bill for the particular, so let's say if we will have here the billing schedule running for 1 year every month, accordingly to this, the revenue will be also recognized the same way. Or we can recognize it straight away, for example, upon creation of the sales contract, as we have here for the maintenance service. In addition to all of this, the revenue plans will be created. So how we would like to recognize the revenue over time. For the IT piece of equipment, there will be one period recognition, so we will recognize everything and at once, the whole revenue. But the more interesting approach will be for maintenance service here. So we'll open it there. And the system offers us two plans for recognizing the revenue. The one actual and forecast. The forecast plan is created straight away if we create the revenue arrangements, revenue contract with the customers, even if the conditions to meet the obligation haven't been met right now. So this is basically, if we would like to have a control what may happen in future with our revenue, we can use this plan here. The actual will happen if we met the conditions, and we would like basically, and we know already in which periods what amounts will be recognized. So we will open the actual here. We will have some basic information when we will start the recognition, when we will finish the recognition. And I think the most important here for the finance people are how it will be recognized. So straight away we have the recognition and what journals basically will be posted within the system at each particular month from the April 2017 until April 2018 here. What accounts will be used to post, etc., etc. I've seen in the past situation where people have been doing the process using the Excel spreadsheets, and it takes a lot of time even for one contract to have control and post all these journals. If you have multiple contracts with one customer, multiple customers, etc., having control over this, doing this in Excel, not the system solution. First, it takes a lot of your time and resources. Secondly, it's very error prone. That's why the solution, what you see here in the system, it's very fast, natural, and you have full control what you're doing over your revenue recognition here. It also had quite nice links with the billing, what I discussed previously. As well, you can pretty flexible with using some per value calculations, some categories of the items, some two-step allocation, and the adjustment capability. So some merging some revenue arrangement if you renegotiate something with the customers, splitting them and having some audit trial here, which all of this is pretty impossible in Excel or requires a lot of additional work here. What additional thing, what I would like to show you in this respect, maybe a little bit reporting, because you also can have full control over what is happening in the billing and from the billing and revenue perspective. So for example, you can see all the open contracts with all the amounts you have here and with the summary, how much you have billed so far, how much you have recognized so far, how much is deferred or outstanding in this respect. So you have full control over what is happening from the billing and revenue recognition perspective in your system. Additionally, I would like to show you now how works the reporting for multiple subsidiaries. So let's go to the main dashboard here and to the presentation again. Okay, if you're running a successful global business with multiple companies, subsidiaries across multiple regions, with multiple currencies, you know how reporting may be challenging. I'm not even referring to the intercompany operations, some matching, but also of the real-time consolidation, like with the Excel spreadsheets, amending the currencies of value during the recalculations. Now I would like to show you how it works in NetSuite. The system supports multi-company, multi-currencies, big global operations. I think the best way will be to show you how you can review the performance of such kind of entities. So currently what you see is the basic profit and loss statement. This profit and loss statement will be across the whole group level here. So we will be in pounds. But let's say I would like to review the performance of the company across the regions and particular subsidiaries. I can do it very easily by using the subsidiary with the caret key here, splitting this in the columns. What I have now, those amounts I saw in the beginning, have been now splitted by different subsidiaries. So I can very easily review the performance of each particular subsidiary against any other subsidiary on the list. You see here the amounts are in British pounds because we are looking at this from the perspective of the headquarters in UK. But if now I would like to see the same information for example, for the America, which are now in pounds, but from the America perspective, the system will automatically recalculate all of this and show in US dollars without any additional effort from your side. The system, of course, supports multiple currencies, but it also supports different consolidation rates. But if you don't want to update, for example, your currency exchange rates every day or every month, and you can use one of the system feature to update this automatically for you every day. So you can take this activity out of your day-to-day task. I would like to mention two more features of the system which may help your business. So coming back to the presentation, Multibook, because your company may work not only across multiple subsidiaries, but also may need to meet different accounting standards. For example, IFRS's, US GAAP, or some local or statutory books. So the system enabled to record a transaction in multiple books. So for example, the same transaction may be recorded differently in your main IFRS book. But for example, for the local German GAAP, the different amount will be presented or different rule will be used. It's also pretty important, but for example, the revenue recognition, this ASC 606 rule we mentioned previously, may be presented differently in different countries regarding of which accounting GAAP basically you will follow, and the system enables you this as well. Also, many customers from the IT company segments are asking about doing the electronic payments. You can do it also in NetSuite basically in order so you can automate your payment runs by selecting the vendor, the amounts you would like to pay, and then the system will generate basically the file which you can share later with your bank as well. Also, if you are here maybe using different bank account that you would like to automate the bank reconciliation, we also have some products which may help you to link directly to your bank basically and to automate the reconciliation here. Okay, why you should run your business on NetSuite for IT and technology sector here? The first thing I already mentioned to you is accessibility of the system. The rich ERP and CRM features, which we discussed and presented during the demo as well. The flexibility, I also showed you a little bit from the form perspective and from the workflow about the collection. The visibility, I think the real-time dashboard information, which are drillable to all the details, are very powerful here. It's a very efficient system. This is a cloud solution which eliminates additional IT costs and also eliminates costly updates because it's automatically updated twice a year with the latest solution here, which I think pretty important for the segment because you would like to have access to the latest solution as, for example, from this IFRS 15 or from other aspects, order to management process, some additional billing schedule, for example, links to the UPS, FedEx to automate the shipping process. And this also is offered by the system, which will help your business a lot. And the system is global. It supports multi-subsidiary and multi-currency businesses and operations, which will make your business to grow faster. If you have some questions, please ask them now. If they are not in this moment in time, please forward them to the email address which you see on your screen. We'll be happy to answer you. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a nice afternoon and evening. Bye. Cheers.